to be with you this evening. My name's Alyssa Pishka. It's like wish, so that kind of helps with that little prompt. And I'm running for Metro President, and I hope to earn your vote. A little background on me. Grew up in the Midwest, outside of Kansas City, where I saw sprawl happening firsthand, taking over much of the farmlands where I was and leaving our downtown behind. That propelled me to go into urban planning. That was my driving foundation, and got my master's degree in urban planning from University of Kansas and moved out here in 1996. I'm just checking, Virginia, was there a comment in the chat?
No.
Okay. So based on that, I've been here for about 26 years and developed significant experience in land use and transportation planning and real estate and economic development. Based on this experience, I've been endorsed by the Tigard, Beaverton, and Washington County Chambers. I've also had significant experience working in government, specifically managing the Economic Development Department in Vancouver, Washington. So I know intimately how government works, as well as the political system. All of this has given me the critical skills and backgrounds for leading Metro. Personally, I'm a mom and a small business owner, and I love this diverse region. And just for those of you who may not be familiar, Metro has a significant, represents a significant amount of the area, ranging from Forest Grove to Cornelius, out to Wood Village, Troutdale, all the way down to Wilsonville in Oregon City. And I think we are so much, the sum is so much greater than the parts. It's an incredible region. However, I'm deeply concerned about the direction. I believe we have incredible potential in this region, but we are trapped for lack on key issues. So what are those key issues? First, accountability. I don't believe the status quo is working. Our voters deserve accountability for the $3.6 billion bond revenue currently under Metro's jurisdiction. This includes the Open Space and Parks Bond, the Affordable Housing Bond, and our Homeless Service Bond. All of that $3.6 billion. And we, as voters, need to know where the money is going and seeing results. The second issue I see is our region is becoming divided, but we must come together and listen to all voices, suburban and urban, government and private. We must come together to solve our problems. My opponent has shown the results of this division through the failed Metro Transportation Bond. If we do not work together, we are not going to be able to invest in the infrastructure we need throughout the region to move our region forward. The third issue, and I think this is the most important one, and it relates to the question specifically for you and CPO1. What will I do as Metro? What will I address as Metro President? So I was at the Beaverton Farmers Market last Saturday, which is a gem for the community and amazing. And I had the ability to talk to several families in the area. And I heard the consistent theme over and over, which many people have said tonight, the concern about homelessness. So right now, we know the city of Portland especially, our sidewalks have become waiting rooms until solutions appear. And I believe the constituents in CPO1 are highly concerned that this trend will increase, as suggested by the DA earlier this evening. So what would I do as Metro President? What would I do to help CPO1? One, we need to provide interim shelter immediately. My opponent has spent over a year squabbling over the paving of a gravel parking lot at the Expo Center, which Metro owns, which could be providing interim shelter immediately. This is not an urgent response to a crisis.
1 minute.
Secondly, we need to increase access to mental health and drug addiction. Again, that you've heard that theme over and over. Right now, the current direction of the Homeless Service Bond is just tying it to permanent housing. We need to get this to everyone who are suffering on the sidewalks immediately. This is going to require active boots on the ground and outreach. And finally, I believe Metro's responsibility and its absolute opportunity is to provide clear metrics and a comprehensive plan for the region to understand where we're going. Each county has adopted plans on how they're going to be addressing homeless services. Metro is responsible for the oversight of those plans, and I believe also should be providing a cohesive message to the voters. And when we talk about clear metrics, what I would emphasize we focus on is measuring how many people are suffering on the streets? Are less people living on the sidewalks? Because we'll be seeing stats on shelter beds, rental vouchers, but none of that's answering the question, are less people living on the sidewalks? So I believe that my extensive experience, passion for accountability, and appreciation for the diverse perspectives across the region will earn your vote. Thank you for your attention this evening.
Thank you very much. We will now hear from Ms. Peterson.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for staying up past my bedtime to be able to talk to all the candidates. Much appreciated. Lynn Peterson, Metro Council President. I have had a very long career both in this region as a land use and transportation planner and actually a transportation engineer, but mostly as your neighbor to the south in Lake Oswego, starting with City Council. I was elected to City Council in Lake Oswego, then County Commissioner in Clackamas County, and then to be the first elected chair of Clackamas County. After all these years of Clackamas County being the chair, the seat of the Northwest Territory, we finally got an elected chair. It was a great moment. But really, Clackamas County and Washington County have had a lot in common, and that is trying to make sure that in the entirety of the region that our needs have been met. And so I represent the entirety of the region in all three counties and urban growth boundary, and have really enjoyed being able to make sure that from stem to stern, from Forest Grove to Gresham, from Portland and the Columbia River all the way to Wilsonville, that all the mayors, all 20 mayors that have endorsed me, feel like they are getting their needs met for their communities. What I am most proud of in our this first term that I have had as Metro Council President is that we have treated this pandemic and the homelessness crisis as the emergency that it is. I have a lot of experience in emergencies in terms of having been chair of Clackamas County, but also having run the Department of Transportation for the state of Washington for Governor Inslee. Those emergencies test you, try you, and basically make you understand what it takes to lead in an emergency, and that is steady leadership towards outcomes for real people on the ground. And that's what we have done at Metro, and I'm very proud of that. Not only did we pass the affordable housing bond measure, and we are putting that out, and you can see that on our dashboard because we do hold everybody accountable, including our staff and our partners working the 7 housing authorities. We have allocated 50% of those funds in the first 3 years and achieved 75% of our goals. For those of you doing the math, we are way ahead of the 3,900 units that we had promised the voters, on our way to almost doubling that amount. So that is good news for the emergency that we are in. The second is the supportive housing service measure that we passed in 2020. We did work with all 3 partners, all 3 counties, to get their plans done over the last year and set up the new tax. And the 3 counties have been doing a lot of hard work over the last 9 months. And you can see that on our dashboard as well. And I will, after I'm done speaking, post those 2 dashboards. Lots of folks have been served. There are boots on the ground. And, I guess what I would just have to say is that if we were not making progress, I wouldn't be endorsed by the Oregon League of Conservation Voters, the labor unions, teachers, firefighters, Building Power for Communities of Color, realtors in the region, and the over 20 mayors, and a very long list of elected officials, because that is what we do at Metro, is that we partner. And that's what it takes. It takes coalition building, and that is what I'm here for. In terms of CPO1, I have enjoyed coming out and talking to you in person prior, and I wish that I was there in person with you today. This is not an entry-level job. You have to understand what's going on the ground in every single community. And in your community, we have really worked hard to make sure in the totality of Washington County and THPRD that we are working in partnership to get you the park system that you need, the clean water and the clean air that you deserve, And, when I've had tours with Mayor Dalen and Cornelius, which is way out past you guys, but it's the same issue, is that homelessness doesn't show up in Washington County in the same way it does in Portland, right? There are 2 to 3 families living in townhomes throughout the entirety of the region because only 15% of our homeless crisis is visible. 85% is invisible. We are working on the totality of the problem hand in hand to make sure that over the next 10 years, we as a region end chronic homelessness. And that is what I am focused on. The other thing I would just add is that we have been very clear in working with the entirety of the region that we are here to help pick up the garbage, right? That's one of our main things. We are right now on the ground working and our folks they're picking up over 3 tons of trash a day by hand of illegal dumping and biweekly homeless encampment trash pickup. So we're very, very excited about that. But what I will leave you with is that this is not an entry-level job. This is an executive position. It requires executive experience. And I think that I have shown that I can get real results for people in this region, and I will continue to do so and work with you hand in hand. My door is always open, and I ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next position we sort of worked our way from those people who represent us closely to the bigger picture. And that's why Metro is sort of out there. So I apologize if it seems strange, but we now have our district representative, and we invited his opponent, but they never responded. So we did what we could. Be sure to unmute yourself.
Great. Yeah. You want me to go ahead and get started?
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. When I see you again, Virginia, Bruce, and to the entire CPO1 community. Again, my name is Juan Carlos Gonzalez. I am your Metro Counselor. I've had the great pleasure of representing this area and North and West Washington County from Beaverton to Forest Grove for the last 4 years. Washington County has been my home for my entire life. I'm born and raised in this community. And that happened when my parents immigrated to Washington County and settled in Cornelius after moving here from Mexico at fairly young ages. I like to bring up my family background because, my parents came to the United States with a lot of ganas, a lot of determination and hard work and discipline and work ethic and a desire to get ahead. And because of that experience growing up, I've been able to see a lot of different things in Washington County, been able to connect with community and a lot of different communities, and is why I originally decided to run for office. Outside of my elected role, I also serve and work with a local community-based organization that does work on economic empowerment, workforce development. It's working with people and helping them to find homes when facing evictions. And this is what I do. I love this place. I love this county. And serving you on Metro gives me the opportunity to help plan for our future, to make sure that we're strong, to create an Oregon and a region where everyone can thrive, regardless of their background, regardless of where they come from, and recognizing that every human has value and should have access to opportunity and happiness. I will say that 4 years ago, I was fortunate to be elected as the first ever Latino and the youngest ever person elected to Metro. And my track record has been rooted in my lived experience and what I foresee as the most important issues impacting this generation and upcoming generations. That's why I've led with an unwavering commitment to affordable housing, just as President Peterson mentioned, laying the groundwork for thousands of units throughout the entire region and 1,000 plus here in Washington County. I've also led an unprecedented effort to generate supportive housing services dollars to address our homelessness crisis out here in Washington County. As I mentioned, both in my elected role and in my day job, I get to see how those dollars make a difference for families that are living on the edge and that just need a little bit of help to have stability and to have a roof over their head. I've been assertive in my leadership over these last few years to revamp our region's infrastructure for the 21st century and to prepare for our climate future. And I've also been really committed to creating opportunities for communities of color, entrepreneurs of color, in workforce development and small business support, and helping us recover from this pandemic. But I know that we have a lot more work to do, and that's why I'm running for re-election. I still think that income inequality is impacting our region on a lot of levels, and we see that in every single neighborhood, including those in CPO1. I'm running because I want our region to bounce back. I want Greater Portland to bounce back. I want CPO1 to bounce back. And I'm here to work hard every single day for the people in our community. My priorities for the next 4 years that I hope and will impact CPO1, we will complete the implementation of our 2018 bond and deliver over 3,900 affordable units. And I want to lay the groundwork for another housing bond to continue building on the progress of our first and the second half of our decade. I want to bring our region's homelessness and humanitarian crisis to functional zero. Voters are showing us tremendous support with resources. I think it's time for us to deliver and really get that crisis to functional zero. I want to work and leverage hundreds of millions of dollars from the Biden administration and federal infrastructure packages and bring money to Washington County for neighborhood street programs, complete street programs, and invest in projects like TV Highway and many of the other community roads throughout our county. I want to put us on the right track and lead on climate change, meaningfully curbing greenhouse gas emissions and helping our neighborhoods to be resilient to the impacts of climate change and helping communities most impacted. And I want to make sure that this economy that we build, that we don't just go back to the old normal, that we have a new normal where workers have the opportunity to take advantage of new industries that can come to Oregon, and making sure that we're on the front end of that. I want to thank you all for staying up this late. I would love to earn your support. I'll be on the ballot on May 17th. Again, my name is Juan Carlos Gonzalez. I'm your Metro Councilor. I want you to invest in this race, please, and make sure that you vote this May. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juan Carlos. I want to make one quick editorial comment that none of the Metro people addressed one of our biggest issues, which is the Portland road people don't want us going and driving on their roads, and yet we have to. And we've been looking to Metro to help us with this problem for years, and it hasn't happened. Thompson Road, which we're talking about with the Thompson Crossing development, is one of our very few roads to get to Portland. So anyway, that's it for me. Now, we have the Labor Commissioner, which is an amazingly crowded field. I've been talking with Casey Culla for a while, back when he started running for governor. We invited everybody. We had Aaron Baca had responded to us, but he hasn't showed up. But Chris Henry jumped in and asked if he could join us, and I said, why not? So Casey, go ahead and tell us about yourself and why we should vote for you.
And Aaron is here. I want to know.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Okay, I'll find him.
Sorry, he's in the audience.
Okay, I will find him and get him on. There he is. All right.
All right. Well, okay, for folks in the audience first, I want to see if you're awake. Can you raise your digital hand? All the folks in the attendees. Woo! Yeah, some of you are still awake.
We had 45 at one point.
They're hanging on. I will say they're hanging on. Okay, so we're going to do some audience participation. And first of all, thank you to Virginia. Thank you to Bruce. Thank you to all these amazing people who've joined us today. Okay, so what we're going to do is raise your hand if you know where to go when you discover that your mother is being harmed in a nursing home. Okay, raise that digital hand if you know. All right. So that would be the long-term care advocate or the ombuds person at the Oregon Department of Human Services. All right, put your hand down. Now, raise your hand if you know where to go if my employer refuses to provide proper safety gear when I'm working with asbestos. Do you know where to go? Oh, so many of you know. All right, that's Oregon Occupational Health and Safety Administration. All right, put your hand down. All right, now, if you find that your neighbor is harassing you because you're Jewish, who do you reach out to? Raise your hand if you know. Less quick about it. Okay, you can put your hands down. That's the Oregon Department of Justice Bias Crimes Hotline or Bias Incidents Hotline. All right, the next one is raise your hand if you know where to turn if your employer laid you off because of your age. All right, I see some hands. Well, I'm going to tell you, you can put them down now. It's the Bureau of Labor and Industries. All right, one last one. So I'm throwing it off a little bit here. What if, like in the Alabama Amazon warehouse, Bessemer, Alabama, you find that your union's formation vote is being manipulated by your employer? You raise your hand, it might be trickier. And the representatives and senators, I mean, you can raise your hand too. You like established all this. So that would be, you can put your hands down. That's the Employment Relations Board at the state. Woo, y'all are good. Okay, so I hope you've seen something there, that there's a galaxy of agencies in the state who are all tasked with educating and mediating and enforcing some parts of Oregon's laws on safety, civil rights, and worker rights. And as a side note, frankly, no one should know where they have to go, like which of these little niche agencies. It should be our responsibility as the state to communicate that clearly and get people help when they need it. So what's the BOLI responsibility in that galaxy of agencies? The Bureau of Labor and Industries, sorry, in short, educates, investigates, and enforces civil rights in the workplace, in public accommodations, so public spaces, and in housing. And BOLI also registers and supervises apprenticeships. And I'm running for labor commissioner to educate Oregonians about their rights, empower you so you know where to go if your rights have been violated, and build that trust so you know you'll have a fair resolution. Super simple. I'm also running for labor commissioner to ensure we have an independent, fully staffed, responsive civil rights agency that's incapable of doing that civil rights enforcement. And I'm running for labor commissioner to expand apprenticeship types and to support apprentices from all walks of life in the ways that they need support. For example, like the candidate said, childcare that works for you. Now, who am I that I can do this? I'm a Yamhill County Commissioner, so I know how to run a responsible, responsive government agency, and I know how to work with labor and management and businesses and the public. And I make hard decisions every day, balancing the needs and the values in our future. And I do that with a conservative majority on my board of commissioners. And I like to say I win every day for the residents of our county.
1 minute.
I've been a farmer and a farm worker and a manager and a business owner. So I know what businesses need to uphold their responsibilities. And I know what workers need in order to feel safe. And I've also worked as a plumber's apprentice. So I know the value of a high skill, high wage work. And it's also personal. I'm a father of 2. And I just want to say thank you all for caring so much about your community and about the state of Oregon. The Oregon Labor Commissioner is a nonpartisan statewide elected office, and everybody will see me on your ballot May 17th. And as you probably, and Virginia will note, I did not address the significant challenges of CPO1 because they're really woven throughout the work of the Bureau of Labor and Industries. Civil rights and workplace rights are the heart really of our work as a state to be a just and more democratic place. And with that, I turn it over to Aaron Baca or Chris Henry. And thank you all so much.
Thank you for coming, Casey. Nice to see you in person and live.
So good.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go with Aaron. I believe that Chris maybe
Hello,
doesn't
Virginia?
have a camera. So we
Can you hear me all right?
yes, we can. We
All
can
right.
see you and hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Aaron Baca. I am running for the Labor Commissioner to head the Bureau of Bureau of, Bureau, BOLI, Bureau of Labor and Industries. And, I'm here today to tell you a little bit about my background, who I am, and why I'm running for this position. So I started off in the workforce in the trades as an electrician and worked my way up to a journeyman electrician in the IBEW. So I understand the trades from that aspect, and I have older brothers who are also in the trades, who work in HVAC currently. And I've been around the trades for about 20 years now, coming out of high school. And but that's just where it started. From there, my route took me different ways. I wanted to explore different careers, so I got into an internship. That internship led me into a whole different field. And it led me to Portland State University, where I became a football coach and was able to work around 100 different young men from all around, not just the state of Oregon, but from really all around the country. And, when I working there, I was able to not just work with the young men in a coaching aspect, but also in a development aspect for the workforce. I implemented something called the work study program into the athletics department, which was able to allow me to work with students at Portland State and get them training and working in their field, whatever it may be, involved in the athletics department, graphic design, marketing, whatever it may be, and help advance those students on further into the workforce. So currently, I'm a farm and forest labor contractor through BOLI, through the Bureau of Labor and Industries. Let me get that out straight. And I'm also a commercial pesticide operator through the Department of Agriculture. So as far as farm labor, forest labor, dealing with chemicals, dealing with the hazards on job sites, dealing with compliance, the BOLI side of compliance, workplace posters, things that satisfy BOLI's needs, and safety policies and things that satisfy contractors' needs or private employers' needs and things like that. I'm familiar with all those aspects of it, the HR side of it, and have really been around BOLI from the training side to the contractor side. And now as someone who can see the struggles as a small business owner in the workforce trying to hire in this community right now, someone who is skilled with a chainsaw or can go out and clear roads, broken branches are down all over the place. I understand some of the struggles just getting regular workers in this workforce in this area, whether it be going up north doing work in St. Helens or even traveling as far out of the county lines out towards Tillamook. I deal with it. And it's not just me and my workforce, but if I go into restaurants and I ask, hey, do you guys know anybody that has, skills in this type or that, line of work? They say, good luck. We're looking for dishwashers or we're looking for this or that. So I'm here because we want to build back better here in Oregon. We want to do it with the natural resources that we have. We want to do it with the apprenticeship programs and what's already been established. I want to, I'm working towards, building better, working towards the greater good and all for a greater cause. I don't see anything negative about BOLI that I would like to change. And, I feel everything that they do on the workers' rights and workplace rights is spot on. There's not much to be changed there. You got to stick to the rules and abide by them. And 100% that's the way to go. But right now, what Oregon needs is someone who can drive this workforce, who can change the training programs, who understands the training programs from the inside and out, understands youth development from internships to work studies to different programs right here in Oregon, from all over Oregon. And I'm ready to take it on. I'm ready to lead the commission, build on what great people are already there, and move forward with Oregon.
Thank you for attending. We are going to go ahead and move on to Chris Henry. I'm not quite sure what is going on with this camera. There you are. Oh, he's driving. Ha! Drive safely.
Yeah, so I'm Chris Henry, and I'm a Teamster truck driver, a third generation Teamster truck driver. I'm running in BOLI because I want to improve conditions for workers. I've had it very good as a Teamster, but I don't believe in the in just, you know, I've got mineism is, you know, hey, I've got it good, whatever for other folks. I want everybody to experience good pay, healthcare benefits, all of the perks that go along with having a good job. All jobs should be good jobs. I would like to see full unionization. In order to get there, we're around 10-ish%. You know, it's argued above and below for different sectors and whatnot. But on the flip side of that, there's 90% of people who are not organized. I would like to bring card check and make Oregon a card check state. It'd be basically going ahead and working with what the PRO Act wants to do right here, or the Employee Free Choice Act before that, that did not pass July of 2008. I've run for other offices before. Let me see. I ran twice against David Wu, 2008 and 2010. 3 months later, he stepped down. Then between those, I ran for Tualatin Valley Water Board right there. I've lived on Murray Road and Sexton Mountain at an apartment when I was going to Portland State. I lived out at Katama Crossing at 185th and probably Baseline, nearest cross street, big cross street. Let me see what else. I ran for governor twice. That was 2014, 2018. I ran for attorney general on a police accountability platform that was, and also to do away with the death penalty back then. That was 2012. And then recently I ran in 2020 for state treasurer for the second time, running for in 2016, the first time. I've run for shop steward, and but I would like to see a $15 an hour minimum wage for people. My mom was, she worked at the California Employment Department. That influenced me a lot. Gosh, my grandfather, he was Eisenhower's speechwriter. So I'm really big on the military industrial complex. I would like to see the vets come home and close a lot of the almost 1,000 overseas military bases. And we need people in the workforce, and we need a green economy. We need a Green New Deal. And I think it would be best to bring these people home and get other people who are here now working. And the best way to do that is to pay them well. A lot of the employers are stepping up to the plate, and they're taking the initiative to start paying them more. I think there should be like almost a collective bargaining agreement for everybody, where it's not just 15 now, and then maybe in 20 years we'll argue for something else. I think it should be 15 now with the 2020 vision, and to get there, it'd be to get to $20 an hour in 20 years. It's just 25 cents a year, and you can divvy that up per quarter, per biennium, whatever, or however you want to cut the, but I want to do that through ballot initiative. There are other things I think we should do through ballot initiative. If we're going to be talking about a minimum wage, we should be talking about a maximum wage and a wage ratio. I want to see single payer universal health care. I would be adding for Medicare for all at the federal level as a state cabinet, administrator. And I would be arguing for other things, other ways to help workers better their livelihood. I've got a minute left. I'm sorry.
Yes, 1 minute.
Okay, minute warning. Okay, so I I think that you've got several candidates in this race who are very good candidates. They're all well qualified, in my opinion. I don't have the educational background that many do. I went to Portland State. I went to Clackamas Community College before that. I haven't finished at either. I'm probably one class away from finishing my bachelor's, but activism tends to get in the way. Also, I would like to see more people being trained. I was trained through the UAW, United Aircraft and Aerospace Workers. I used to work on the B-1 bomber as an electrician, commercial aircraft. And yeah, I think the way forward is to educate people, to pay them well, and to have a better life for people. I think there should be a 4-day work week and a 3-day weekend every weekend. I think we can get there. And I think people are ready for it after COVID. I think we've seen how important it is to be with family. So I'm sorry, I can't give you direct eye contact, but this job is my first priority. I drive to Canada and back 6 nights a week. I log about 200,000 miles between this and my commute from
Oh, we
Oregon
definitely
City.
want you to keep your eyes on the road. Thank
Oh,
you very much
absolutely.
for
Thank
joining
you for the
us
time.
under these
Yeah.
conditions. Okay,
Thank you so much.
okay. That's it. I can't believe it. We did it we're only 12 minutes late. So thanks to everyone who attended, who participated. I hope that you found valuable information to help you fill out your ballot, to learn more about all these great candidates that we've had here tonight. And I'm sorry for those that weren't able to participate, but I was absolutely stunned at the response we get, which tells me that people listen to CPO1, which I love. And we also had a bunch of attendees from around the county, from the other CPOs, and I apologize we didn't cover your specific candidates, but it's CPO1. But I know that some of the candidates were also cover those other CPOs. So anyway, with that, I would invite you to come back to our May meeting, which will be May 10th, when we're going to cover the measures that are countywide measures. And those would be the Beaverton School District, the sheriff, and I believe that measure to repeal the flavored tobacco thing, if we can get representatives from that group. So, and at our May meeting, we'll have full reports from all of our community partners. I'm sorry we had to cut them short tonight. Have a great night, and we'll see you all next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, CPO1.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you from Lisa. Bye.
I told everyone I have a big whip.
She does.
The two Bruces.
Yeah, the Bruce twins.